So, to put it in context, in those days, how much was a loaf of bread?
I don't know. Not before the war.
Can't remember.
I really don't know before the war. No.
But you could buy an awful lot for sixpence.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it?
So what were your dad's parents' names?
Granny Bounty was called Louise, and he was called Edward.
Edward.
And he used to have a brass plate outside his door, Captain E.W. Barty.
Yeah.
Edward William. And that's why my dad's eldest brother was called Willie.
And he died at the end of the First World War.
From that flu epidemic. Yeah.
Mm. What a shame.
Yeah, we never knew him.
No.
Wasn't even thought of then, Roy, 1918.
No. Did your dad ever speak about him?
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah.
Mm. And when me and our Varley went to a meeting one day, we came home and told him that he was going to have the gift of hearing, and it would be a gift from his brother, Willie. And he was so delighted because we didn't know about Willie then. But it wasn't as we expected it to be, that all of a sudden he'd hear. But he had a hearing aid and he could hear.
So that was the gift of hearing?
Yeah.
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 Huh.
Yeah.
When did he lose his hearing?
No, I think it was when our Varley was a baby. So it must have been about 1933.
How did it happen?
Because he was on his motorbike and a lorry came along and shone the light in his eyes. And he came off the bike and his face was crushed, and his mouth, his ears, everything. He was in an awful state. And they kept him alive for 3 weeks with putting little lumps of ice on his tongue. His heart must have been very strong, see? Yeah. But I remember when we lived in Hopeville, and when I said to my mum in the wartime about living at Hopeville, she said, you were too little, you couldn't remember that. And I said, yes I can, I said, because we had a garden. Then you went down the steps and there was another garden, and you went further down, there was a bigger garden again.
All right.
Oh, she said, I can't believe you remember that.
But you can.
Yeah.
Was it on a hill then?
Yeah, I think it was a bit of a hill.
Yeah.
And I remember our filly cut her knee, and my Uncle George rushing her on indoors quick to see into her knee. And my mum was just so surprised I could remember all that. Nobody told me about it.
No.
I just knew.
Yeah.
Isn't that funny?
So that's really your only memory of living at Hopeville?
Yeah. And then we moved out to Jerbourg.
Right.
You've been to Jerbourg, so you know what it's like there.
Yes.
But of course the houses weren't there anymore.
Do you know why the houses are gone?
I don't know, the state's cleared them all.
Was it wasn't because the cliffs were falling down?
No, nothing to do with the cliffs. They're two cliffs in Guernsey are proper cliffs. It's made from rock.
Right.
But I think the lady that owned the land, Miss Turner, gave it to the people of Guernsey, and the states cleared the houses and made a big car park, and you can buy things to eat and a snack bar. And there's a hotel that my mum used to work at before the war, still there. And there was another one called Idle Rocks, and that one caught on fire.
Is it gone now then? Did it burn down?
Yeah.
Can you remember the one that your mum worked in?
Yeah,
what
it's
that
still
was?
there.
But what was that called?
Jerbourg Hotel.
The Jerbourg Hotel.
Yeah. And when I think about it now, we used to go down by the Foghorn place and get different things for our tea. I think, oh my God, I wouldn't let my children go down there. Hey?
Well, was it quite precarious?
Very slopey.
Yeah.
For little 4- and 5-year-old children.
Yeah.
But we used to go.
Were you quite nimble on your feet?
Yeah. Except one day when Freddie Burns buried my foot, and it was supposed to be the treasure, and then he was digging to dig it up again, and he dug the foot right in my foot, and I screamed, and everybody from the barracks come rushing down.
Was it bleeding?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I had to have the doctor
Oh dear.
to stay with my foot up on the stool. But Miss Turnay left that land to the people of Guernsey, and you can see town, you can see Jersey and all the other islands, but nobody's allowed to buy it because it's not theirs
to sell.
The states can't sell it to nobody.
I see.
So it's quite a nice place, and loads of people go there.
Right.
Well, just after the war, when we went back, we used to sit on the gun, you know, and swing around, and look out the peephole.
What, a German gun?
Yeah.
Oh, gosh.
We were a bit dopey, really, because there was all sorts there we could have picked up. Well, we never thought of it.
No.
Helmets and bits and pieces. We never thought of that.
So, going back, what year do you think you left Hopeville?
Oh,
I had a guess.
I should think it must have been 1935.
And where did you go after that?
Jerbourg.
Jerbourg.
And our Brian was born at Jerbourg in 1936.
Right.
And I'll tell you, I've told you before, we remember, we were so convinced the nurse brought him in that black bag. We thought that's our new baby. But
was your sister, the sister that passed away, was she born before or after Brian?
After Brian.
Yeah.
So she must have been born in 1938 after we moved up to the old mill.
I see. I see.
But going back to Miss Turnay, she was very kind to all the kids. And if you were Catholic, she'd run you in her car, and hardly anybody had a car in them days, to your church. She'd take the kids to the Church of England or Methodist, whatever you were. She took all the children to Sunday school or church.
And did she take you?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, she took us. And then one day she gave me and our Lolly a penny for the collection. No, she gave us a penny each. So we put it in the collection. Oh, and they thought we were ever such good little girls because we put it in the collection. But we thought she gave it to us to put in the collection. Otherwise we mightn't have given it to her. But, yeah, I remember that all right. You know, it's quite a time really that we were out at Jerbourg. And she used to put things on for the children, like dancing round the maypole. All sorts of things that they don't do anymore, but then people did things together in those days, didn't they?
Yeah.
And that's what we used to do.
I see.
So when we moved up to the old mill, must have been end of 37 to 38.
And this is St Martin?
Mm.
Yeah.
And our Brian was already a little boy then, see. So that's when we lived by Moulin Huet.
Right.
Lovely place.